Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Become a member to the channel. It doesn't cost you but a couple dollars a month, depending on what package you select. And make sure you leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. Rematch is not justice for Lamont Roach. Sir Lamont Roach. That's what we need to call him. Because if Deontay Wilder was the king of boxing right underneath Canelo, Sir Javante, Sir Tank, well then we need to be calling Lamont Roach Sir Lamont, Sir Roach. Matter of fact, let me get my big head out of here. Let me put some respect on Sir Roach's name. Listen, man, this rematch, this ain't it. The wrong needs to be right. The mistake needs to be corrected. Isn't that what we're taught when we're kids? If you do something wrong, you apologize. Or you try to correct it and make it better. Now, I'm telling you, and this is my opinion, I know Lamont Roach is still struggling, thinking about how he was mistreated going into the Javante fight, during the Javante fight, and subsequent to the Javante Davis fight. They did Sir Roach wrong. And now he signed for the rematch. It looks like Javante's activated the rematch clause. And they're like, we're going to be all good giving you the rematch. Neither one of you lost. Now you have a chance to come back and try to duplicate the effort that you put forth in the first fight, where you fought a picture-perfect fight, something that we didn't think you could do or any boxer can do. Yep, we need you to replicate that bullshit in the summer. That's crazy. Now you may say, damn, Hood Champion, this bothers you that much? To a degree. And let me tell you why. Talk about real life shit. I had a fitness test. Real shit, I'm telling you. I was boxing at the time. I was in Korea. I was running those mountains, running those hills. I tell the story all the time. I used to run for like 2 hours. It's like an hour, 15 minutes up and 45 minutes back. I used to jog in place because those runs were brutal. But I would jog in place sometimes. I wouldn't quit, and I keep moving up that hill. It was all uphill. It's crazy, man. It was hard on my body. Then I get to a certain point, I turn around. I used to run to a point to where I come to this house where they were cooking food, all up in the bushes, man. And I go up there and be like, "Annyeonghaseyo," and they wave because they see an American come through there. Then I'd run back. Anyway, I had my fit test. I was in a different kind of conditioning, okay? So we had to run 1.5 miles. And the first lap, it was like 10 of us, running. The first lap, I paced myself. There was, I think, 2 people in front of me. The second lap, I caught up with them. The third lap, I passed them. By the 6th lap, because we were running on an indoor track, so I think it was like 12 laps. Anyway, by the 6th, 7th lap, I had lapped everybody once. By the 10th lap, I had lapped everybody twice. And then what happened, I came around lap 12, and I finished. The girl was like, "Oh, that's lap 11." And I'm like, "No, that was lap 12, but I didn't stop running because I knew when you're running those tests, sometimes the people who are tracking your laps, human error. They're too busy talking to each other than counting your laps. So when I came around and I was like, "That's it," she was like, "Lap 11." I continued because I sprinted like the last 7 laps. So that's what confused her. I was running that shit so fast. So when I came around and finished, there were people who came in after me because I remember I had lapped people like 2-3 times. They were shouting at her like, "Hey, he lapped us like 2 times. Like he was finished on that 12th lap. You made him run 13 laps." And so by this time, I'm animated. I'm cussing and everything. I'm being real disrespectful. And anyway, what happened is I went back to my unit, and she had me down for like 8 minutes and like 30 seconds, which is still fast for a mile and a half. But I ran this shit in like seven 26, 7:30, whatever. Anyway, I went back to my unit. I told my commander. So he was a fitness freak like me. So he called over, talked to the commander for the squadron, man. The fucking I can't remember. Tell you, man, my damn head. It's not MWR, man, but anyway, he called over, talked to the commander who was over that program. Anyway, he talked to their people, and what they decided to do was average out my laps. So they figured the way to fix the wrong was to average my laps. And I came up with like 8 minutes and 16 seconds. So the commander was like, well, that's still a really good time. That's what the commander from the, it just came to my mind, the something squadron. But anyway, that commander was like, oh, that's still a fast time. He should be okay with that. My commander was livid. He was like, no, that's not cool. The guy, because I had my stopwatch too. So he timed himself at like 7:20 something, and you guys want him to accept 8 minutes and 16 seconds. And so he was like, look, there's nothing we can do about it. He's like, what do you want to do? He was like, you can go back in there and run it and, just to prove a point, or, hey, look, you scored a 100. There's no one in the squadron who's going to run it faster than you. He was like, but I agree, that's messed up. He said, that's a fast-ass time. But I was pissed. Anyway, I was so agitated. I didn't go back and rerun it. I should have. I thought about it, but I was like, man, whatever. Anyway, they never fixed that wrong. I had to carry that on my record. And of course, my time was still fast, but really, my fitness rip should have read like 7 minutes and 26 seconds because I had lapped everybody like 2 or 3 times. But I bring that up because they didn't. They just figured, we just average it out and he'll be okay, just like Lamont Roach. No, you just go for a rematch and then you'll be okay. No. Lamont Roach deserves to be a champion. Just like I should have received my time of 7 minutes and 26 seconds. Okay? And I think that would have been a record, at least for our group. But anyway, I think this is nothing but Lamont Roach being bullied. You know what I'm saying? Just like me being done wrong at work, or when you see somebody kind of being a friend or in a relationship with a family member and you just be kind of insensitive towards them and break off a relationship or don't talk to them, and then you want to come back and talk to them later and think they're going to be okay with it. This is horrible. Let me tell you something, man. A guy like Lamont Roach, people are not talking about how this can affect his psychology going into a rematch. This man suffered a major setback. Even though it was a draw, it's a major, major setback. Depending on how he handles it, it could be, it could stress him out the same way of having a personal loss of a family member or a loss of a job, or he definitely lost money. But see, nobody talking about the psychology. And Lamont Roach could have regrets going forward. He may say, man, why'd I take this rematch? They did me wrong. F this. But the money's going to be great. But what I'm saying is he may not come in there and put on another 5-star performance. He may not be able to pull that off because they screwed this man. Talking about a rematch. Man, forget that rematch. Give me the title, and then we can have a rematch with me coming in the ring as a champion. But no, he got to deal with that and struggle psychologically, and then the memories surface all through training camp, and then he comes in the ring, and now you find him in there like Tim Tszyu after he fought Fundora, coming into that fight with Murtazaliev. As soon as Tim Tszyu got hit, he reached to the top of his head thinking he was cut, thinking he was bleeding again. You're going to have Roach getting there with Gervonta Davis, and as soon as he hits him, if Gervonta Davis moves back or darts to his corner or does something weird, Lamont Roach may sit there and throw his hands in the air or think something's going to happen that's not going to happen. You don't know how this stuff affects a fighter, man. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is, I just don't think he's going to be able to push down any of these emotions, and I don't know how well he's going to work through his feelings about the injustice that was done to him. Stuff like this, I'm telling you, it affects you in ways you don't realize. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you right now, you heard me talk about that goddamn story. Still pisses me off when I think about, oh, we'll just average out his last 12 laps. You crazy? Especially the last lap, man, I was flying. Don't tell me you're going to average out my laps, man, when the last one I run like 10 seconds faster than the other ones. I don't want that average. Just like don't tell Lamont Roach to accept the rematch. He don't want that shit. He wants the title. And he wants to come in as a champion. He wants to make Gervonta Davis money. They're doing him wrong. Anyway, he's got to move on. And I ain't saying he got to forgive anybody, but he got to, I guess, just accept the fact that there's I guess this is somewhat of a change, because it could have just screwed him and not gave him any opportunity. So I think that's the change in mentality of like, you know what, instead of dodging this bullet, because Lamont Roach, Sir Roach, is a bullet, a hollow point that's coming back at Gervonta. And for them to have a change of heart and say, and I don't know if I'm fighting him next, he's not next. The change is good for them to say, we're activating the rematch clause. Because I'm telling you right now, if Gervonta wouldn't have fought him, they would have said that's a sign of weakness. He's putting duck sauce on the fried rice. It takes courage for Gervonta to want to get back in this ring, but it takes a lot of courage for Lamont Roach to want to get back in there knowing he's the one who was done wrong. And for him to somehow try to set aside his emotions, I think that's just going to culminate in some growth, and I think his desire to win. But at the same time, again, what's his psychology going to be, people? But it's an opportunity to, I guess, learn more about himself and say, hey, if I can persevere through this crap in boxing, which we know boxing is full of politics and corrupt, secret society in effect, EFFECT. But it gives Lamont Roach an opportunity to learn about himself, man. And I think if he can get back in this ring, first, if he can get through training camp and come out firing on all cylinders and get in this ring and get the victory, I think he's going to grow big time, and I think it's going to be in beneficial ways, man. But I'm just curious about him feeling maybe a little bit of guilt, like I could have done more, or feeling shame, like, man, these people robbed me. I'm supposed to walk around here. Fans are saying I really lost. I didn't deserve to win. I wonder about his stress, depression. And I'm telling you got to feel anxious. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is Lamont Roach, where's his psychology, where's his self-esteem, and his level of satisfaction on how he performed, and if he's going to allow these fools on social media to make him feel like, hey, you didn't do enough. You lucky you got a draw. Because Tank threw less punches and landed a few more than you. So how good of a fight were you really putting on when you threw almost twice as many punches as Gervonta, and he still landed more than you? Look, in boxing, there needs to be some responsibility. And I just think when it comes to these rules, maybe there needs to be some kind of, I don't know. I know these decision makers don't want to set a precedence. I get it. New York State Athletic Commission, they definitely don't want to go against the decisions made by the referees, because if they do that, they're going to have to do it all the time. So they try to kind of find a happy medium and say, look, this is a win-win for everybody, so no one should be upset. But that's not the responsible thing to do, man. And I'm going to tell you, that's probably the most challenging thing for anyone or any group or organization to have to do, is for them to sit there and say, you know what, I admit a wrong happened. This is happening underneath our watch. We want to protect our referees. We want to protect ourselves. but what happened was wrong, and we don't want to make excuses for it by not correcting the wrong. So we're going to do that. That being responsible to do something like that is probably the most difficult thing for someone or an organization to do. Because when you don't do that, it shows that like you don't have no damn remorse. You know what I'm saying? It shows like you don't have no remorse. You see, they want to come and try to have a conversation and shit instead of trying to talk it out and say, hey, look, we struggle with this, but this is the right thing to do. Now they want to make you feel and put the feelings on you like, yeah, like Lamont Roach, you're wrong to feel the way you feel. You want us to come and do you a favor because the referee made a management decision. Yeah, he started counting. He got to 4 or 5 and he stopped because there was chaos and confusion in the ring. The referee's human. How dare you, Lamont Roach, try to poke the referee in the eyeball? You McNicholas. Cut the referee some slack. And hey, by the way, you didn't lose the fight. Man, you gotta be kidding me, man. Doing that man dirty. Matter of fact, has anyone ever apologized to Sir Roach? That's what I want to know. Who apologized to that man? Or at least express some kind of regret and shit. Man, how nice that would be if someone came and said, man, to Sir Lamont Roach, we wish we could take it back. We wish that referee, what's his name, Steve Willis? We wish he had been more thoughtful. Kept his eye on the prize. You know that eye be all over the place. That motherfucker eye be, column lefting in here and shit. But the bottom line, I think this rematch is a way to kind of make amends, man, with Lamont Roach and just saying, hey, this is, don't worry about any referee engaging in the same behavior in the future, man. We got you covered. You have the rematch. We'll be good to go. Let's start to get into some healing now, and I think we'll be all right, man. Let's move forward. There's some lessons learned. We all could have done things better. I used to hate that shit when I was in the military. We used to have hot washes after big inspections or big exercises. The lessons learned. Like, my unit used to do pretty damn good. Other units didn't. But they had the lessons learned. They would try to peanut butter spread that shit across all of us. I'm like, man, don't bring that lessons learned bullshit to us. We did what we were supposed to do, just like Lamont Roach did what he was supposed to. Don't come talking about no lessons. Let's all move forward on the same sheet of music. Lamont Roach, they're all lessons we could have learned from this. What you want Lamont Roach to learn from that shit? Oh, you could have knocked out Gervonta. God damn. Y'all gonna poke Lamont Roach in the eyeball? Tell this man he could have knocked out Gervonta Davis? So because he didn't knock out Gervonta Davis, he deserved to get a draw? And he's lucky he didn't lose? Hey, yo, hold your horses and let's not take it to the stupid. What kind of bullshit you talking about? Lamont Roach may come up in the next time, Biggie's supposed to say, kick in the door, wave in the 4-4. He may run up in the ring and bite Gervonta Davis, man. Y'all better pray and meditate for that dude. Talking about he needs to internally reflect on what happened because that can help him realize that everyone makes mistakes and that, no one's beyond repair. We're going to fix the referee and fix Gervonta. We're going to fix the tank team. And Lamont Roach, you're perfect, but we're fixing people. So maybe there's some things you can fix about yourself, like putting your foot on the gas early and getting Gervonta out of there. That way you don't go through this shit. And that's what I think he needs to do. And to be honest with you, if he puts his foot on the gas, I think he gives us a damn good chance on really pulling off the upset. But still, Gervonta's a beast. And Lamont Roach will tell you, Gervonta Davis, I see why he knocked people out. Gervonta Davis can explode on you, man. He can set traps. He's got speed. He's got power. He hits you with shit you don't see. So Lamont Roach got to be careful putting his foot on the gas. But anyway, I just think, man, he may feel a little better that it looks like he's getting a rematch, but I don't care what you say, man. I think he just still had to work himself through the process. trying to just accept his reality. And that shit is hard. It's like, I'll give you another real story before I end this video, right? We had 20 minutes. Good. If you're riding in the car, this is something you can play while you're riding because it's entertaining conversation piece. And by the way, you're welcome. Now look, I had to take promotion testing, right? And there was one time I was testing for a promotion. And I missed the cutoff by point something. It was less than 1 point. And so when that happens, you start going through your records trying to see if you should have a medal, because for every medal you have, that equals a certain amount of points. So I was going through all my records like, fuck, I gotta have something here that was missed, you know, and I can add that, take that to the, let's just call it the testing office, right? Take that to AFPC. Take it to AFPC, man. They could say, okay, this wasn't in your records at the time of testing. Your responsibility, but we'll add that in. You get promoted. I couldn't find anything. But what I did identify is when I left from Korea in 1997, and came to Florida, I never had a medal written for me. They should have wrote me a medal. The medal would have gave me 1 point. And then I deployed once, and I didn't get the point for that. I was supposed to get a medal from there too. So that was 2 points that I should have received. And I started thinking it was a mistake. Then come to find out, I just didn't get the medal written. So that was my fault for not taking responsibility for my career and ensuring I was getting medals, or at least have someone explain why I didn't when I was having a permanent change of station. But let me tell you something. That was a horrible feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because people wanted me to get beyond and just forget that. Nah, man, I couldn't forget that because there was no reason for me not to get that medal. When I left Korea and came to Florida, there's no reason for me not to get a medal when I left the deployed location and came back. But this is what they told me, at least for when I came back from that deployment. They said they had given out too many medals to people in the squadron, and that's why I didn't get one. Everybody else received one, but I didn't. I didn't get in trouble. I actually went over there and did very well. But when I came back, I didn't get a medal. Just to let you know how effed up people can be. But when it came to my psychology, for me, it didn't do nothing but motivate me and make me clamp down and be on top of my shit to where that never happened to me again. And after that, man, I mean, like I said, my career took off and I did very well. And maybe that's going to be the same thing for Lamont Roach. Maybe he says, man, forget these people coming out here talking about I should have knocked Tank out. I should have took it out the hand of the judges. I got screwed by the ref. I got screwed by the judges. I got screwed by New York State Athletic Commission. But I'm going to make sure this time they don't do that to me. So maybe he gets motivated the way I was motivated. Anyway, keep cool. Rematch is not justice for Lamont Roach. I bring my big head back in here because I just want to give Sir Roach the respect of making sure that he was on full display and just talking about this. Because, look, this shit ain't over to me. Nobody talking about, they're talking about Tank and Tank. What's Tank going to do? And Tank will be back and Tank's going to be, Tank can fight a lot better. But what if Lamont Roach fights the way he did? It don't matter what Tank does to improve. I just think Lamont Roach had an answer for everything Tank tried to do. And if Lamont Roach locks in the way I did when I got screwed for a couple of things when I was in the military, if he locks in, then Tank's I think he's going to be a repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Same shit. This time, I think Lamont Roach going to get that win. Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, become a member. Leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings in the breeze.